Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Jeanette. Well, I got a phone call. Actually, not a phone call. It was an email from my cohort, Dr. Liz, who has COVID-induced laryngitis. So I'm really bummed, but I decided I'm going to come on and give you the goods, and we will reschedule our time together in the next 2 weeks. She barely can talk and she's not feeling good. So I just put this together based on a live I did a few weeks ago, and I think that you will totally enjoy it. So my name is Jeanette Lowrys, and I'm here to talk to you about 3 pillars to lifetime weight wellness. Now, what does that mean? Well, I think all of us can confirm that diets don't work. We've finally figured out that what my mom used to do, which was put cellophane around her legs and use a vacuum cleaner to suck out the fat, or the grapefruit diets, or just the celery and water, they don't work. And they don't work because diets don't work. Diets basically mean deprive. Diets mean die. How many of us want to be deprived of nourishment, of nutrition? I don't think any of us would, right? So I'm going to talk to you today about a lifestyle way to incorporate clean nutrition with good protein for metabolism, de-stressing. We've got to get that cortisol hormone under control, or else we will never get the fat off our gut area, especially visceral fat. And of course, detoxification. So I'm going to just plow through these as I talk. You can certainly take notes if you want to, but I will put this up as I look at on features as soon as we're done. So let's take slide number 2. Okay, so Dr. Liz was going to talk about her expertise, which is in all things NLP, mind, resetting, programming, hypnotherapy, etc., and how that can be in relationship to why past food choices or past meal plans or past diets haven't worked for you. If you're somebody that's frustrated, you are just out of your mind with nothing works, I'm not going to go there anymore, forget it. I hear you. I have been in this industry of wealth and health benefits for especially women for the better part of 35 years. And I can tell you at age 64, when I went post-menopause, oh my gosh, my body changed completely. So I'm going to talk to you about some things that you can incorporate, including some mindset things right now, so that you can actually see how you can participate with this and not have to make huge lifestyle changes. But these new habits will become repetition, just like unconsciously walking through life as we do now. So I'm sure many of you have heard of paradigms, right? A paradigm is just a set of beliefs or habits or things that you were pretty much indoctrinated with, as I say, when you were a youngster. By the age of 7, we pretty much have interpreted our life as we know it based on the adults that we hung out with. So if our adults had habits of eating, I'm going to talk about food in particular, if they had habits of eating all starch, no protein, guess what? You're probably cooking like that today, right? Or if they had habits of just sporadic meals and just kind of eating on the go, you're probably doing that today. Or let's say you've got weight issues in your family, and it goes back generations, sisters, aunts, etc. You're probably thinking, oh, it's just my family tree. I guess I was just, put in this group of genes, and this is just how it is. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. So when you understand that paradigms are basically the unconscious mind operating our day, 95% of our day is based on our unconscious mind telling us what to do, where to go, how to think, etc. If you want to interrupt those thought patterns, you do have to have a pattern interrupt, as I call it. So in my trainings, I take people through pattern interrupts to change those thoughts that are going through your head. And it may be comfort food is a biggie, which seems to be with women especially, eating for comfort, not for nutrition. I've always been active. I was a gymnast through college and then taught fitness for 30 some years, actually 18 some years in my business for 30 some years. And I always ate for fuel. That's just how I operated. But many of you might eat for comfort, and especially when stress goes up. And we'll talk a little bit about that today too. So in order to change that thought pattern, like, oh, I've got to grab that chocolate, I'm stressed out and I know chocolate will take care of it. Or you can't wait to have that pasta because it makes you feel good initially. You get the sugar high, but eventually it doesn't make you feel good because your body continues to get larger as we age. It's because metabolism is not revved to the point to burn the calories and the fuel we put into our body. So the pillars I'm going to talk about today include deep cleansing, detoxification, stress reduction, and metabolism boost, raising the metabolism. So if you've got thoughts about food, how you eat, what you eat, I do have a check your pantry free download. Just DM me pantry. I'm happy to send it your way. It gives you some, real lifetime things that you can do in the kitchen to look at how you're eating, what you're eating, and perhaps how you're passing this on to your family unit, your kids. Obesity has taken over our country, and kids today, about 40% of our kids are, predestined for obesity and or diabetes. Why is that? I'm going to give you some answers as to why, and then some choices you can make if you want to change that pattern of how you eat and how you nourish your body. But the paradigms really have to be dealt with first. So it does start in our heads. So if you have that voice coming up, like making you wrong, no, you can't eat that. No. Every time we resist something, you notice it persists, right? What we resist, it persists. So don't try and resist it. Try and change it. So a pattern interrupt might be, you hear your voice saying, oh, well, my whole family's like this, so may as well just eat and enjoy life. You can interrupt that thought that's going through your head that was planted there. It's not the truth. Who said it was the truth? It doesn't have to be the truth. So you repattern the mind with an interrupt. You have to just implode all your cells. You have to make them hear you, feel you, see you, think about what you're saying. So a pattern interrupt might be wear a rubber band around your wrist. And when that thought comes in your head, snap that rubber band so that stops the thought. Then you can reinvent the thought like, so what? Generations of family are overweight. I don't have to be. Or not me. I'm going to change the paradigm in my family tree. So opposite of what that negative is, make it a positive. And you can write this down every day. Write down how many times a day a thought comes through your mind about, I look terrible in this dress. Oh, I wish I was 20 pounds lighter. When you hear these thoughts coming up, interrupt that pattern. I used to say cancel out loud. Cancel. And then I would repattern and reprogram my mind. 30 days makes a habit. 90 days makes a lifetime installation into rebranding your brain. So keep that in mind, write things down, notice them, and then reconfigure them, change them so that they are definitely working for you, not against you. All right, so whoopsie. Don't want that removed. Whoopsie, there we go. Where did it go? Show on stage. Okay, next slide. So here's just a quick timeline, okay? Toxicity, oh my gosh. From the 40s, World War II basically increased the use, fertilizers, DDT, all that synthetic pesticides, yuck. And instead of getting rid of it, guess what? Our government decided to use it in food growth. That is the facts. So with the food growth, of course, fortification came. We fortified everything. It was only supposed to be a gap filler, but what they're doing today is they're covering up the lack of nutrients in our foods by fortification. Because when you dehydrate things down to just bare powder and then refortify it and add those oftentimes not absorbed vitamins, minerals, etc. into our bodies, you're still undernourished. The 60s and 70s, with all the bread fortification, pasta fortification, and cereals came to the marketplace, and guess what? Sugar hijacked the cereals and eventually hijacked every food you can think of that's processed, because sugar, they found, is very addictive, like nicotine was. A lot of the nicotine players got into agri-farm. I'm sorry, I'm a Nana, and I'm watching my 2 grandchildren. I didn't know I was going to be alone today on this, so just bear with me, okay? They're upstairs. The older one is watching the younger one, and got a neighbor coming over in a few minutes to help out. But anyway, sugar fortification, sugar in everything. When you see why we are obese today, you have to play it back to sugar being added. It's very addictive. It's like cocaine in our brains. That's the same mental place in our brain that sugar triggers. And to detoxify the body, oh my gosh, it's just as hard to get sugar out of the body. But unless we get sugar out of the body, you guys, we are not going to solve the crisis of obesity. So if diets don't work, what does? Well, we've already looked at what we've done to the food groups, what we've done to the soil, what we've added to the food groups. So instead of just becoming a country that is made up of obese people, how about if we target each sector that has added to the obesity and illness and cancer and autoimmune issues and trigger that in reverse? Detoxing the cells. We have got to get rid of toxic chemicals. They're everywhere, you guys. Protein pacing will help to boost metabolism. As we age, we lose that collagen, we lose the muscle because we're not as active. And muscle is metabolism. When you're younger, you're outside, you're active, you're doing things, so your metabolism is just burning the fuel as you take it in. When you are not as active or you're sedentary, guess what? The metabolism slows down. We lose our muscle mass as we age anyway. So we have to be proactive if we want to boost metabolism. And I'll talk to you about protein pacing. Third, stress reduction. There are studies out today, a lot of them, linking cortisol, which is our fight or flight chemical from our brain. Cortisol spikes increase fat around our belly, our visceral fat, because the fatty cells are trying to protect our internal organs. So cortisol goes up, toxins are flying everywhere, so our fat cells just gobble up and hold on to fat-soluble toxic chemicals. The sugar doesn't get used as energy. It gets stored because you're not burning the calories. So when people say to me, which I've had so many women, and it breaks my heart, because if you would try a new way, yes, it's definitely paradigm shifting. You have to think differently, but one meal a day, that's all I eat. I just have a big salad with dressing at lunchtime. That's all I eat. Well, you're putting your body into that starvation mode, and it's, going to hang on to all the calories you put in your mouth. Why? Because it's afraid of getting starved again. So it just kind of holds on to everything that you put in your body. That is going to cause fat. So deprivation is not the answer. Diets do not work. So let's talk about toxins in our body. Not just the food we eat, but it's the air we breathe, the water we drink, definitely the products we use on our skin. I mean, baby powder, good gracious. How many women have used mineral oil and baby powder on their kiddos, 30, 40 years ago when everybody was using it? But studies today, of course, show it's a petrolatum product. It gets absorbed into our cells and it's toxic. So why on earth do you want to wear anything that has mineral oil or petrolatum, things that don't have a good rap for keeping us healthy? Products on our body and the products we use to clean our home. There's so many toxins floating around. The average woman has about 800 toxins in her body. That's average. Men, maybe 600. They have a few less because women, we've got the hormone attraction of different toxins to our bodies. But babies that are born, they're finding now umbilical cords have toxic buildup in them. So think about what you can do to reverse the toxins in your body, get rid of them so that you can at least release the fat. It's a beautiful combination of detoxing, cellular level toxic buildup. If you have any of these features, you'll know you're toxic. You're tired, you're sluggish, you have gut issues, chronic headaches, migraines, you don't have the zap anymore, brain fog. These are all signs of toxicity buildup in our bodies. So you can do that quick questionnaire yourself. Toxins, when they're in our bodies, they cling into the gut area because that's where a lot of the fat cells are. Our visceral fat keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger year after year after year, unless we nip it in the bud. This picture below shows 20 pounds of lean muscle versus 20 pounds of fat. Same scale weight, but it shows up differently on our bodies. So this is just an example. Two women, both weigh 150 pounds. One is lean, so muscular, not big muscles, but she does weight-bearing activity, maybe light weights, light bands. I start women with soup cans sometimes just to get the lower body activated muscle-wise and the upper body. I do have a 20-minute series of exercises for 40 and overs that you can take and do at home. So DM me exercise, and I'm happy to send that out your way as well. So our goal then is to boost metabolism by adding protein. Protein is so underrated, especially women. Women don't eat nearly the protein we need to eat. There's studies out today, and I can cite them for you, that show if you pace your protein throughout the day and you make it in equal grams of protein to your ideal or goal body weight. So let me say that in reverse. If your goal body weight is 150 pounds, you need to eat 150 grams of clean, absorbable protein. every day. Women just go, what? Are you kidding me? I'd be eating all day and I'd be 500 pounds. Not true. Because if you eat the right protein and you source it from clean places, not toxic fish, not toxic chicken, not chickens or eggs that were raised in 4 weeks, but they go through the earth cycle. They are farmed clean. You will see results so much faster with your build of muscle. So the protein pacing is huge. Stress hormone, cortisol, it's the fight or flight hormone. And it's there for a purpose. Obviously, if we are scared about something, it puts our body into an adrenaline rush and woo, we can survive whatever is chasing us. But too much of that in our world today, which is hyperstimulated, we've got internet, we've got social media, we've got cell phones, we've got busy, and we are inundated today with the stress hormone cortisol. It is now linked finally to fat, holding on to fat. Until and unless you can get rid of the stress hormone or lower it down to an equilibrium, back to its normal place in the body, you will not be able to release, especially gut fat, which is where most people start complaining as they age, because that inner tube keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So not only do you have to have a mindset pattern interrupt, but you have to have an interrupt with new actions for eating. Bringing down the cortisol level is huge, because cortisol stress has been linked to so many autoimmune issues, disease. When our body is in an acidic mode, meaning induced with stress, we're eating processed foods that are made of sugar or chemicals. We've got all the toxins floating around. Our body is acidic. The body that's acidic is a magnet for cancer, for disease, for inflammation, autoimmune issues. You name it, it is inside the body. So how do you get your body alkalined, which is the opposite of acidic? To alkaline the body, you could be drinking lemon water all day. I know lemons are acidic, but that isn't a way to alkaline the body. There's a lot of alkaline water out there. Most are just BS. Most have not proven results behind them. It might be alkaline for the first 5 minutes, but so, it's hard to tell. But when your body gets alkalined, you will be able to tell. Because what happens is your body goes into a detoxification stage where you're getting rid of the toxins. And when you start getting rid of toxic buildup, the fat automatically starts flushing. It's a side benefit. So we bring the stress down, we get rid of the toxins, and how I teach that is through intermittent fasting. 1 to 2 days, the 2-day intermittent fasting with nibbles of protein throughout the day, 100 calories, so your body doesn't go into a total starvation mode, but utilizing the protein pacing, maybe 300 calories max over each day of detoxification. You will come to the other side after hating me for a day as you detox. Detoxing of sugar is the same as detoxing from a hard drug or alcohol or cigarettes. You're not going to feel good. But you know what? On the other side of that, a day later or so, your body is non-acidic. It's alkalined. Your brain fog goes away. Your inflammation feels, oh my gosh, I can lift my arms. I can move. You feel like $1 million. You're like, where has this been all my life? That's the That's the most common comment people have for me. Why didn't I know about this before? Well, because nobody shared it with you. And so the 3 pillars that I'm sharing with you are detox, stress reduction, and boost metabolism. And we can do that in a piecemeal way. You can certainly piecemeal this together yourself, or you can do what studies have already shown over 23 years of hundreds of thousands of results of people who have lost 20, 50, 100 pounds. We even have a 300-pound club in corporate office of people who have dropped 300 pounds over time using these 3 pillars and have kept it off. Why do you keep it off? Because you're not dieting. You're not doing deprivation. You're actually eating a lot more than you think. So these 3 pillars are huge. This is a lookbook, before and after pictures of real humans that incorporated the 30-day reset. And you can go to bit.ly/ISA before after pics. It's bit.ly.com/ISA before after pics. And take a look at the lookbook. It'll blow your mind, because these are real humans that have been empowered to change their mindset pattern and their food pattern. Isagenix is the company that invented 23 years ago the detoxification at the cellular level. And it was from a scientist who was actually working for all the major health food companies producing products. He basically put together all the minerals. He's known as the Mineral Man, Dr. John Anderson. Google him. And he got sick and tired of them limiting what he could put in these products. Bars, 2,700 different products, 600 different companies. So you've probably used some of his products. But as they started budgeting and taking things out that he wanted in, he went the route of network marketing. So he was bitten by a brown recluse spider. In order to save his foot, his leg, he was hospitalized. We're going to amputate. He said, heck no, and used all the knowledge he had from the years living with medicine man in the jungles, curating all these adaptogens, herbs, things that will extract poison, toxic behavior from our body. So he put together what we call Cleanse for Life. That is the product that started this company 23 years ago, and we still use it today to get the body to an alkaline state during intermittent fasting. It is a beautiful combination, and it's the fastest way I know of to get 100 different herbal concoctions into your body with 2 ounces of liquid in the morning and afternoon, midday, and evening. So with that said, we have a fantastic science base. All the different studies, 21 different studies have been done so far, third-party, peer-reviewed, and published in major, all the medical or naturopathic or green magazines that people read. Smart people, doctors, scientists. So these are third-party peer-reviewed, and there's never been one study that we've had to say, oh, let's not get that published. Isagenix has always had a no backout clause, meaning whatever university or lab they, connect with to do the studies, and there's weight loss studies included. And I'll give you that website in a second. But there's never been one that has not come to the exact same outcome that the scientists had within Isagenix. Dr. Our Sierra is our chief science officer, and he invented what we call protein pacing. So that's also utilized in the 30-day reset. Isagenixhealth.net is where you can go if you want to go see the studies. There's a lot of people that just are science geeks. I wanted to see the science when I started on this almost 8 years ago. And I had been piecemealing things together for women because I always knew protein was key. Muscle was key. Getting rid of the sugar was key. So I've had that in my vocabulary for 40 years at least. But now having a way to simplify it, making it very user-friendly. It's like a toolbox where you want to drop 7 to 10 pounds in 30 days, boom. If you go back to the habits of processed food and adding chemicals, yes, you're going to rebound and go back. But what happens is when people feel so good, they have clarity, they're sleeping better, their stress is reduced, they're happier, they're shrinking, their body is shrinking. They don't have the cravings. They're not going to go backwards. So that's what we find with this 30-day reset. It is life-changing for those that are open to participating. And I run these every month. So just DM me, reset. And I'm happy to get you some information so that you can see how and what we do. I will let you know when Dr. Liz will be back. I hope that this was helpful for those of you that tuned in, and I know some of you will be watching the reruns, but inquire. It doesn't hurt. And if you get nothing else out of this, know that there is another way. And the goal for this company is to put 1 billion people on this planet on clean, alkaline products that help to reduce all the disease that we find ourselves living with. It doesn't have to be that way. I thank you for your time. My name is Jeanette Lowrys, and you can find me on most of the major platforms. DM me. I'd love to hear from you and perhaps your story of weight loss frustration, because I can help you. Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.